Hey guys, I'm Michelle, one of the coaches in the Pumped Up Chicks team, and I am doing a webinar today on your first 90 days in the business. So I was actually co-teaching this with somebody else who talked about launch parties. So unfortunately, I don't have anything in here about that. But what I do have starts with commitment. So commitment is the little choices every day that lead to the final results that we're striving for. So with this business, baby steps, baby steps, baby steps, every single day working small amounts towards your business equal a very large outcome. So the one thing that I did during my first 90 days that was extremely beneficial to me was ordering. I ordered a lot. So back when I started last October, November, and December, you were able to qualify for the cruise in 3 months by ordering 500 pieces per month. It was 400 pieces per month, kind of like the qualifications for sales are now, even though we're not actually counting total pieces. But for the last 3 months, or people who joined the business a little bit later, we were able to qualify by ordering 500 pieces per month. Now, that might sound really, really scary, but October, I had already ordered an onboarding package, and so I was already close to 500 anyways, and I'd set up a few vendor events, and I really wanted to have some extra items, so that way when I had my first sale, I was able to replenish those items with new stock and not be running low on numbers. So that first month, I started out with over 500, and then I just kept that up for November and December. So a lot of the times I've heard Patrick say in the home office update webinars that go ahead and order that extra 20 pieces or those extra 50 pieces, because if you have them, you are going to sell them. The more you have, the more you sell. It is imperative that you reinvest back into your business. Your onboarding package is simply a starter kit that needs to be built upon. It is not the end-all be-all goal for your inventory. You need to be raising that number. Some say that the sweet spot is between 800 to 1,000 pieces. You need to be continuously investing to bring those inventory numbers up. So in the first 90 days, you really want to try to reinvest everything if possible. Now, I did start out LuLaRoe with a full-time job, and I didn't need to rely on my LuLaRoe money for salary or for income to put food on the table for my family. I was able to go to my full-time job and then work LuLaRoe extra, and so I was able to really reinvest everything those first 90 days. Now, I understand that not everybody is like me. I have somebody on my team who quit her full-time job before starting LuLaRoe. She's a single mother with 3 kids, and she has to take a paycheck. She has to. She's got to pay herself in order to put a roof over her children's head and put food on the table. So I understand that we're all in different situations. If you are in that type of predicament and you're not able to reinvest all of your money back into inventory those first 90 days, remember this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You can still get to the same finish line that I am at with my number of inventory. It may just take you a little bit longer to get there. What matters is that you keep running. So you can never stop ordering. You just have to continue to order. We really want you ordering weekly, if not more. This makes sure that you have regular shipments coming in and you're not running out of stuff if there's an order that's incomplete because of back orders or one that's delayed with shipping. So definitely ordering weekly, if not more. Syra and Manessa recently put together a boot camp that talks about ordering, and they actually recommend very small orders, so 33-piece orders every other day to build your inventory. Again, I know that we're not all in that same predicament, but it is something to think about. My husband says that if you do not know your UPS man's name, that you are not ordering enough. So make sure you get to know your UPS deliver driver. Okay, so ordering was the biggest thing that I thought of when I thought about my first 90 days. But what I did is I went to the leaders of Pumped Up Chicks and I said, hey, so if you had one thing that you wanted to share with people in your first 90 days, what would you share? And so this is the stuff that we came up with. The first one, meet with a CPA at the beginning. As LuLaRoe consultants, it's really difficult for us to be able to give our downlines tax advice because we all live in different cities and counties and states, and what my situation may be will be completely different from somebody else's income situation, depending on if you have a husband who's also bringing home income. All of that is going to change the circumstances for you. So definitely meet with the CPA at the beginning of your business. It is much easier to know all that's expected of you in regards to bookkeeping up front versus having to play catch up later on. One of the biggest quotes that we really wanted to reiterate in the first 90 days was never compare your beginning to somebody else's middle. And one of the hugely important things on this slide is plugging in. So you want to soak up all of the knowledge. You want to be a learn-it-all, not a know-it-all. Be a sponge. And you can do this by committing to home office, by getting on our weekly home office updates. Those are at 2 o'clock, 10 Pacific, 2 o'clock. I don't even know what I just said. Tuesday at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time where I'm at. We also have our weekly team calls for Pumped Up Chicks on Monday mornings at 12 Eastern or 10 Mountain. And this is our Pumped Up Chicks Power Call, led by Brittany Hunter, the mentor for Pumped Up Chicks. And you also want to seek training. So commit to home office, connect to your team, and seek training. You can seek training in so many different avenues. You can get on the LuLaRoe weekly training call, which is Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can attend LuLaRoe events like the Inspire Tour. You can utilize the amazing website Fashion Fundamentals, or attend Super Saturdays that are local to you. One of the biggest things talked about in LuLaRoe right now is getting back to basics. Getting back to basics is really focusing on doing more in-homes versus online. So yes, people can sell online extremely successfully, and I do the majority of my sales online, but I cannot lie to you and say that my sales have not decreased online, and that is because there are more consultants, but we are selling to the same pool of customers. So just like those original consultants had to do, they had to get out of their comfort zone, they had to be vulnerable, they had to introduce people to the brand because nobody knew it. There are still a ton of people who are completely untouched by LuLaRoe. We are extremely far from saturated, but we need to be creating some new customer bases. So instead of selling to the same online pond, we need to bring in new fish to the pond. So get out there, be vulnerable, have 10 cards in your pocket every single day. Now that it's cooler weather, you can be putting on a Sarah with a pocket and hold those business cards. I know in my leggings, I don't have pockets a lot, or in some of the other items except for the Amelia. But pop 10 cards in your pocket at the beginning of the day and have your goal be that at the end of the day, you're going to be handing out all 10 of those cards to somebody. You know, when we were at the Inspire Training Tour, Shannon Gwen, one of the mentors, talked about how she goes out to the grocery store with the tag still in her clothes. And the person behind her will be like, excuse me. I'm so sorry, guys. I keep coughing. Excuse me, but you still have your tag on your clothes? And she'll turn around and be like, oh, that's because it's for sale. And then she'll tell them that that's really her item. It's not for sale, but she does sell clothes and she forgot to take the tag off that morning. And it really leads to a conversation. And then she's able to introduce her business to them. So when you're out and about and sharing the business, lead with a compliment. This was actually a recommendation by Brittany Hunter. So after that first initial compliment, then proceed to share about your business if that conversation continues. All right, so wear LuLaRoe every single day. Never leave your house without it. You need to be head to toe LuLaRoe. Never do a live sale or Periscope or post a personal picture of yourself on your VIP page without LuLaRoe. I see so many people doing live sales or Periscope sales without LuLaRoe on, and I'm thinking, if you're not showing that the product is important enough to wear, your customers are probably not going to think that it's important enough to purchase. So definitely be wearing LuLaRoe as much as possible. Don't feel like you have to give away the farm. So yes. Here at LuLaRoe, we talk about, the more you give, the more you get. We want you to be doing that, but discounts and freebies are meant to be special occasions. So at LuLaRoe, this can mean giving of your time, giving of yourself, of your unique gifts. It can mean giving to charity, adopting a family, or giving to your team. It's not going to help you to build a successful business if you're giving to group hoppers who hop from group to group to group to group just for giveaways. They're probably not going to become your loyal customers. So what I do is try to focus more on giving to my repeat and loyal customers. All right, so I'm a huge Dave Ramsey fan, and he says, live like no one else today so that you can live like no one else tomorrow. And, we look at this mission statement. So LuLaRoe, where through fashion we create freedom, serve others, and strengthen families, a place where lives are being blessed and dreams achieved through love, confidence, purpose, and growth. So I will not lie to you. My first 90 days, I felt like I had no freedom. I was a slave to LuLaRoe. Because I was on my computer, I was on my phone, I was answering customers' questions, I was taking pictures, I was invoicing, I was packaging, I was shipping, and you are going to continue to do those things, but it will begin to slow down a little bit. You're going to have to really work and hustle those first 90 days. I didn't feel like I was strengthening my family. I didn't feel like I was achieving any dreams. I didn't feel confident. And I felt like our lives were not being blessed because holy cow, I was working so much. So I don't actually mean that to scare you away. I would do it over again and over again and over again and over again. But I was working full time. And so it was really hard. And so people say, well, how did you go, how did you become successful with LuLaRoe if you were working full time? Like, when did you work it? I worked it in every single nook and cranny that I could. I just popped it into those small spaces. So when I was at my regular job, I was working on my lunch break. After work, I might have said that I was delayed a little bit and come home a half an hour late because I was working. I was up early before work working. I was up late while my husband was snoring away. That was before he was really helping me with the business. He is now. And I am so glad that I put in every single one of those sacrifices the first 90 days, because after that, I was really able to see the blessings of LuLaRoe. I was able to start spending more time serving others and strengthening my family. But you look at all these leaders and you see all the amazing things that they're doing with their time and with their money, and you're thinking, am I ever going to see that? And you are totally going to see that. But those first 90 days, you need to be sacrificing to really build that strong base of your business. And so again, I would do it over and over and over again. So live like no one else today so that you can live like no one else tomorrow. Sorry about that, guys. So setting hours. This is often covered in time management talks, but I think it's imperative that we talk about it early on, because I think it's great from the get-go to set those hours. So set those hours for your customers, set those hours for your team as you start to build them. And if you, lay it out for them, then they're going to come to know exactly what to expect. It's a little bit harder to implement those strict guidelines of when is family time and when is work time the farther you get into your business, because your customers and your team are then used to reaching out to you at any time of the day. But if you can set those office hours and really delineate, what's my work time and what is my family time, what's my team time, then that's going to be helpful in the long run. So treating your business like a business. 72-hour game plan without judgment. So you may hear tons of trainings about the 72-hour game plan. And the 72-hour game plan is amazing and it works. And that's why we talk about it so often. But it works if you work it. And I truly think you have to work it without judgment. So what that means is when you're writing your list of 50 names, every single person that you're putting down has the potential to be a customer, a hostess, or a new teammate. Okay. So I know in the first 90 days, we're not focused on growing our business, but when you are writing these names down, you are needing to be thinking about anybody that would be blessed by LuLaRoe, whether it be the products, the business opportunity, free clothes, anything. And it's easy to say, well, they shop here, so they probably won't like LuLaRoe. Or, nah, she would never be interested. She makes a ton of money and shops at these high-end stores. Or I know that she's really, really busy, so she probably wouldn't have time to host a party, or whatever. You need to write every single name that pops down in your head without judgment, because I've seen so many times in people's businesses where the one person they didn't ask became the best customer of somebody else. Or the one person they didn't ask became that future teammate of somebody else. So work that 72-hour game plan without judgment. If that name pops in your head, put it down. And if they're not interested, then they're not interested. But at least give them the opportunity to experience what we're able to experience through the products and or the business opportunity of LuLaRoe. All right, so the last thing that I want to talk about is self-development. You will also hear on a lot of training calls, a lot of books that LuLaRoe recommends. So Leadership and Self-Deception, The Power of TED, The Four Lenses Unfolded. All of these types of books are self-development books. So I think that it's really important to begin self-development from the get-go. I recently did 8-minute calls for my team and we talked about this topic. We talked about the topic of self-development. And I was reading in Success Magazine that the question to ask yourself is not, what am I getting? Instead, you should ask yourself, what am I becoming? Getting and becoming are so closely intertwined that what you become directly influences what you get. So what are you doing to become a better leader, a better person, a better business owner, a better mom, a better anything? Because to have more than you've got, you need to become more than you are. So I think that focusing on that from the beginning is going to definitely help you to become a better LuLaRoe leader and business owner. So if you implement some of these strategies into your business, 3 months from now, you will thank yourself. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm on the Pumped Up Chicks Potentials page. I'm on the Pumped Up Chicks Q Club page. And my name is Michelle Eynon. It's EY, N as in Nancy, O, N as in Nancy. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them. And I hope that some of this was helpful. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a great day.